Now, I'm sorry that CZ, I have no reason to go, fight with him on social media. I've only met the guy once in a conference where he was on a screen. And so this is not a plan to hurt him. I'm just asking, where'd the money go? Where's the money? What about that $2.1 billion that you took off the balance sheet of FTX? Is that not a reasonable question? What's the answer? This is America. In this country, you are assumed innocent till proven guilty. And when he is proven guilty and gets his fair day in trial, then I'll say that, if indeed he's guilty. I don't understand this mob saying he's a fraudster without even a fair trial. One day, some of those people are going to be in the same situation. They just don't know it yet. The basis of the justice system is assume innocence until proven guilty. Look, this guy, if he did all the things that have been claimed against him, he's in really big trouble. But he will get his day in court. And then after that, after it's proven and after it's a fact, we can talk about it. But I'm not going to run around ahead of the justice system. I have no idea what happened there yet. I need to see the facts. And frankly, nor does anybody else. We got to get John Ray to get the records out here. All of these allegations. Look, I understand why people are unhappy. I get it. But there is a due process. And so I stand up for anybody, anywhere, beyond Sam Bankman-Fried. You are innocent until proven guilty. Anybody in America. You don't like it? Too bad. I've been a venture investor for 30 years. You make about 10 investments. 8 of them are going to fail, and 2 of them are unicorns, and pay for all of the grief and misery of the ones you failed on. You ask, why did people invest in FTX? It looked like a unicorn. No amount of due diligence on the 8 losing companies in venture investing is going to stop them from failing. Doesn't matter. You have no idea when the journey starts what's going to happen. You do know, though, the stats tell you 8 out of 10 times it's going to fail. That's how it was in the 1950s. That's how it is today. So venture investing is risky. This was a venture investment. It's risky. What are the reasons for failure? Well, in this case, it might be fraud if proven. And so we don't know, but there's lots of other reasons companies fail. I'm not going to stop investing as a venture investor because I've had a 0. I have 8 zeros out of 10 every time I do 10 deals. But the 2 that win pay for all the mistakes. Obviously, I wish I hadn't got involved in this. It's too bad that this is the outcome. But I'm certainly not going to shirk from responsibilities of trying to do as much as I can to return capital. And anything I can do, and I'm very fortunate to have resources, I'm going to. But that's all I can do. What else can I do? I mean, I have to actually face this, deal with all this, and then go forward. And I'm going to remain an investor. I'm going to remain transparent, and if called back to testify, I will. This is a journey. We haven't started even the first mile of it yet. Look, we've all been sued, all of us. We all feel like idiots. We all have egg on our face. We obviously knew nothing about what was going on internally. Otherwise, we would have never taken on these assignments. And this is a tragedy. Everybody knows that. But I also have it from the point of view of being an investor, along with 90 other very sophisticated financial services entities that invested in the equity of these companies. We too feel foolish. We have egg on our face. We all feel like idiots. That's a fact. But having gone through that, and here we are, we can't change the past. What are we doing going forward? That's why I want to get on the credit committee. I want to figure out how to find a way to repatriate as much of this capital back to people's accounts as possible and to the equity shareholders. This is a classic situation of clawback. We have to go find the money. It's going to be a long journey. It's a tragedy. Look, it's an absolute tragedy. However, this does not take away from the promise of crypto. I bought more Bitcoin when it was under 17,000 recently. I'm going to continue to build my portfolio. This doesn't change anything. It will change the regulatory environment dramatically. If it's true, and I say if it's true, that Sam Bankman-Fried bought back his shares from CZ because he couldn't get a license, that tells you the regulatory environment is getting much tighter. So I speculate that in any jurisdiction, what's going to happen, and we discussed this on the Hill yesterday, if you think about what the prizes are for jurisdictions, New York, no question about it, that's the top prize. To be regulated with a broker-dealer attached to an exchange would be the top prize. Number 2 would be London. Number 3 would be Abu Dhabi. Number 4 would be Singapore. Now, those regulators and others, obviously, you could think maybe Brussels and the Eurozone, they're going to start talking to each other. They're not going to issue licenses to anybody unless they're all in sync. That's my speculation. So all of a sudden, if you want to waltz into town, set up shop, set up an exchange, and do the same thing that happened with FTX, the possibility of that happening, I suggest, is practically zero. Now that may put a lot of pressure on Binance, because if they couldn't get regulated or licensed because they couldn't clear when they were owner in FTX, I don't know how it's going to get any better for them now. At some point, you have to open up the scrutiny of an audit. You have to be transparent. You have to say who owns the company. You have to show the cap table. You have to show the balance sheet, the income statement. You have to submit yourself to forensic audits and proof of reserves. All of these, and in many cases, in many jurisdictions, if you look at the Canadian jurisdiction, they limited the number of tokens.